Those field trips with the kiddos, they can be a lot of fun, a lot of good memories. It's Rob and Lizz in the morning, his radio.
Yeah, I don't know if you've done that with your own kids, gone to summer camp, or it's some of the most memorable experiences that you can have, at least for me. It is for me. So I've done some neat things with my kids throughout the years. I took Amanda and Spencer at different occasions by themselves to New York City.
Oh,
Which
fun.
those were both incredible, really, really neat experiences, and all these other things as well. And this will be my second trip that I took with one of my kids to DC, and a class trip.
Mm-hmm. And you just did that this weekend.
Yeah, just got back from it, and was just so enriching and fun. And met some new people. I think, sometimes you go on a trip and then you make friends and never see them again.
Oh, sure.
You know?
You know that happens.
I think we got some lasting ones out of this one.
Oh, that's good.
But Eli and I just had a blast, and it was so good. The tour group that Langston Middle School had brought us to just like every monument and then some.
You also got a window kind of into your son's life away from you. When you're a chaperone, you get to take part in some of those trips.
Oh, the way they interact with the other students and stuff.
And the way they interact with the teachers and the other chaperones. And
it's so good.
How they follow rules when you're in the back of the bus and you got your eye on them a little bit.
Uh-huh.
No,
yeah.
I know. It's cool that you were able to do that. I got to go to Alaska on a mission trip with both of my boys quite a few years ago, and that was different to see how they react and kind of act around other kids. And,
yeah, it's eye-opening.
And to see them kind of work on the mission field. That was awesome.
Listen, if you are quiet around your kids and their friends, you learn a lot.
You really do. But that's the point. You don't interject. You don't get in the middle of it. You just see it happen.
They forget you're there.
They do.
And then you learn things. It's amazing.
You're listening to Rob and Lizz in the morning.
His radio.
You're not going to believe this, but Ninja travels with her dad. I love this. It's Rob and Lizz in the morning. His radio Ninja is one of our producers. Where did you go with your dad?
So we took a road trip to New York, the state. And we decided to drive the whole way there instead of fly, and we didn't choose where we were going to stop. We just drove until we got tired, and then he had a certain app that told you like who had available hotel rooms, and they were like cheaper because they want people to use them.
Well, how'd that work out for you guys?
It was good. We were able to get the hotel rooms that we needed at each hotel. And then we went to a little conference in the mountains of New York. And on the way back, he was like, "We're so close to New York City. It would be a shame if we didn't go stop by."
Look at
What'd you do? What'd you do when you got there?
We went to New York City for like 24 hours, just walked around, saw the park.
Central Park,
Central Park. And then we drove back home, stopped in Pittsburgh.
All you did was Central Park?
Well, we also ate dinner at some Italian restaurant. We didn't do a whole lot.
I think there's one in New York.
There's a couple. A couple. Empire State Building, going to Macy's.
We didn't have time or money to do all of that.
No,
sure.
that does take a lot of money.
Yeah.
What about Times Square? What'd you think about Times Square?
It was really big. I'm not a big crowd person, so during the crowds, I went to the room and like watched TV, and so my dad went out by himself and explored the big crowds.
Well, I get it because you're tiny, and so in the middle of the crowd, you kind of lose yourself a little bit.
Yeah, but like we were in the car a lot by ourselves, so I'll never forget that road trip and just being one-on-one and having those talks in the car.
Oh, that's great.
What'd you find out about your dad? Anything that you can think of that you found out you didn't know before the trip?
Uh-oh.
He gave me a lot of because I was in high school, so he would give me a lot of advice for college and the future career I wanted to get
And
to.
did it work out for you?
I think so.
Was it good? Like it was
Yeah.
unsolicited advice, but it was welcome.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay, it wasn't like, Dad, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I didn't want to hear this. We're on a road trip.
You're listening to Rob and Lizz in the morning.
On his radio.
When you think about it, we're only 3 Thursdays away from Thanksgiving. It's coming up quick. It's Rob and Lizz in the morning, his radio.
I know. 3 weeks from Thursday, and it's all but done. Thanksgiving Day Parade, it may be a tradition in your family. If your kids or your family love the Minions, they're going to have one of those balloons to see at this year's Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. I guess I thought Minions had been part of the parade
I did
before.
too.
But
I thought there was a balloon of the Minions before, but maybe I think everything's a balloon.
Pretty much, like Snoopy joined, I don't even know how many years ago, but I just feel like it's
118.
Feels like it.
Mm-hmm.
The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade is almost 100 years old. I did not.
Thank you for sharing that tidbit of information. I had no idea.
Here's the thing, though. I'm planning. It's 96 this year. 4 years from now, I'm going to make plans to be there.
You want to be there for real?
Oh, my goodness, it would be.
See, my wife does too. She's always wanted to go to Thanksgiving and see Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. It's crowded.
Here's my plan. I don't know that it will work.
Oh, let's see what happens.
Okay.
Here. Okay.
But to find someone that maybe has an apartment along the route.
Look at her. She's going to try to make best friends with somebody in a Manhattan.
You know what? I'll bring the snacks. I'll bring, whatever.
Listen, if they can afford a Manhattan apartment, they can afford their own snacks.
I'll bring the snacks, though. They'll be homemade. Like, I'll do whatever.
She's going to get bologna and put sour cream in it.
That's not how I show up to a party.
You're listening to Rob and Lizz in the morning.
On his radio.
So Scott loves the Minions. He's our news guy. Loves the Minions. How much so, Scott?
Well, my son is constantly watching one of the movies. So we've got, the Despicable Me's, the little Minion movies. I think the new one, The Rise of Gru, which I got to tell you, I like them too. So, yeah, we
see?
like the Minions.
He's a fan. And since now the balloon's going to be at Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
You got to take the family, Scott.
I've always wanted to, hold the rope of one of those.
That sounds
I'm thinking
fun.
walking in the parade holding the rope. Would that be fun?
You and Liz both want to go in person to see the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. My wife does too, but I'm thinking best seat's the TV.
Well, the best seat is the TV because you can bundle up. But you know what? I don't want to hold the rope now that I think about it. I want to dance with the Rockettes.
What?
Oh, yeah. That would be awesome.
See Liz kicking like that?
Can you see? It's like all these 5'10" girls and then me.
You're listening to Rob and Lizz in the morning.
His radio.
Evidently, Liz and my wife Amy are not the only two people on this planet that want to see the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in person. It's Rob and Lizz in the morning on his radio.
No, not at all. Ninja, our morning show producer, wants to go on this trip with me and Amy.
When do you want to go? You have your date set and everything?
We're planning for the 100 year,
Yeah, which is in 4 years. It'll be the 100th anniversary of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Everybody's going to bolt and go to that thing. You got to wait for the 101.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It's going to be so busy you won't be able to move around.
I'd still take it.
I'm sure she would.
Listen,
Yeah.
Monette texted and said, I didn't get to see the parade. She wants to see it, though. But the night before, she had the opportunity to go and watch the balloons being inflated. And it was years ago. She was visiting family and got to see that happen.
That's neat to see.
That would be kind of
A
peel
little
the curtain back.
behind the scenes thing going on there. So Christy's here at 800-447-7234. And Christy will tell you she brought her flute to the parade.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Okay, what did you do?
Yeah, it was amazing. The marching band was in the Macy's parade. It was one of the coldest Macy's parades, to date. I couldn't tell my toes or fingers, but it was just seeing the crowd along the street. It was an amazing experience.
How do you play the flute in the cold like that?
You fake it a lot of the time, but it was so cold. There were icicles hanging off the end of the flute. It was freezing.
Was that your saliva hanging off the end of the flute?
No, man, condensation.
Woo!
Go ahead and call it that.
You don't drool in it.
Rob and Lizz in the morning.
On his radio.
People decided they were going to jump into hot springs in freezing cold below 20-degree weather so that their hair could freeze, and they put it into a nice style and then be a part of this big hair freezing contest just to have the naming rights of being a winner.
I love doing anything that has fun, but this is different. This
But
is odd.
literally, if you have really super long hair and you do this thing and you jump into this hot spring and then come out, your hair goes, freezes.
Yeah, sure.
And then you can put it into these cool little styles. And then these people do these wicked, amazing looking styles on their hair. Look like Mr. Freeze. And they win stuff.
Well, yeah. I mean, that you're willing to do this and somebody's making it, a party and a lot of fun, but they are not getting hypothermia because they're in a hot spring, so their body is warm, but it's what is exposed to the air, which is going to be their hair, mustache, eyebrows, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, it all freezes. It looks absolutely amazing. They have 5 winners. There's like the best male, best female, best group, most creative, People's Choice Awards.
Do they win just bragging rights or like
No, $2,000.
$2,000?
To jump in that spring and get your hair all freezing and then put it in a style.
Okay, so I see why they do it now.
Yeah, right? It's full of money.
Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
The Santa Claus is now the Santa Clauses, and it's coming to streaming services, and that's the Tim Allen where he,
He's Santa.
He brings Santa to
He had the
life.
clause.
Yeah. There were a couple of clauses, the marriage clause, the whole thing clause, but it's coming back. And most of the originals are coming back to the series as well. It is going to be on Disney+. November 16th is when it kicks off. And then they're going to have different episodes every single week. Charlie is back. The woman who played Mrs. Claus is the same woman. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Will Charlie's mom and stepdad be in it?
I have not seen them in the trailers. The trailer just dropped
in
the last day or so, and I haven't seen the mom and dad yet, but Charlie is back. He looks different. I mean, he's grown up now.
You sure it's the same kid?
It is the same kid.
No way.
It's the same kid. There's another kid. There is now a daughter who is played by Tim Allen's real daughter.
No.
Yeah, and she's going to be in the show. I'm super excited to see her, to see what she brings to the series. So it should be a lot of fun, and it's, is he timing out as Santa, and is there going to be a replacement?
Really?
Yeah, that's kind of the whole thing.
That's sad.
Yeah, well, he has to move on like the other Santa Claus did.
No, the other Santa Claus fell off the roof.
Well, I don't think Tim Allen is going to fall off any roofs.
And
or
we're
anything
talking
like
about
that.
a movie.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just so you know.
This is
So
just
that's
the story.
That's a
with
story.
him. Yeah.
All
but
right.
I'm looking forward to it. November 16th is when it kicks off.
Honestly, I don't think that kid's the same kid as in the movie. He looks so different. I know he's grown up, but it's not the same nose or same eyes.
Yeah, he's the same kid. His hair is
it's not.
blonder now, but it's the
No,
same.
it's not. It's dark.
It's the same kid. I promise you, it's the
I'm not
same
watching the same thing she is.
Rob and Liz in the morning.
On his radio.
And it looks so good. I thought it was going to look like a sweater. It doesn't.
No.
It's a beautiful wedding dress that she knitted by hand.
kid. Yeah, it's very intricate. It's form-fitting. It's almost like a sheath, and so it's just sort of slips over.
And she used silk.
She did.
I had no idea that yarn could be silk.
See, I didn't either. I don't knit, so I don't know that much about, but I know that there's like wool yarn, but I did not, like you, know there was a silk
Liz
yarn.
doesn't knit.
No.
I thought she did everything. Yeah, I thought you did everything.
Cross stitch. That's as far as I go with embroidery.
What's the difference?
Cross stitch? And cross stitch is just little X's that make a picture, a little pattern.
Okay.
But knitting is something completely
You
different.
still use a needle.
Use 2 needles. I don't know. That's as far as I know about it.
Rob and Liz in the morning.
On his radio.
There was a 10-year-old that climbed El Capitan not too long ago. Now an 8-year-old beat him. It's Rob and Liz in the morning, his radio.
He did. This guy is Sam. He's 8 years old. He's from Colorado. He made the trip with his daddy. They went to California at Yosemite Park and decided we're gonna climb El Capitan, and they were able to do it. I would be scared to death to have my 8-year-old.
Yeah, you would think, right? But they said very safe, had the
Yeah.
best equipment. They went in a group. So it just wasn't, hey, go ahead, kid. We'll see you later.
Yeah, I'll stay down here and watch.
Yeah, I'll catch you if you fall. That didn't happen because he made sure his son was just really protected. But they climbed the thing. 8 years old and climbing El Capitan.
Yeah, I think it's 3,000 feet.
I've done a rock wall, but I've never climbed a mountain.
You've never climbed? We did, but I don't know. It's like
You did?
this. Not really. I guess it's not. We hiked. That's different.
There's a big difference.
Rob and Liz in the morning.
On his radio.
It's very popular this time of the year. The
It
Christmas
is.
Debbie cake, right?
Yeah, because they're starting to show up on shelves.
And they're too good. Oh, Debbie cakes knows how to make a Christmas Debbie cake. Wait, what?
I'm not a fan.
She doesn't like it. What's different? It tastes just like one of those, Swiss cake rolls.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Oh, maybe the Swiss cake, because I don't like
It
that.
does.
It's kind of a waxy chocolate on the outside.
Here's what's happening, okay?
Yeah.
I never thought in my life this would happen to the Debbie cake Christmas cake thing.
What's happening?
It's got its own swag.
It does have it.
Earrings.
Listen. Oh, my goodness.
Although Liz will not wear the earrings.
I don't know. They're super cute. They're cute. I don't have to eat them.
If you don't eat them, don't wear them.
Okay, don't tell me what to do.
Don't wear the shirts either.
Well, I don't. There's some of the shirts that are probably really cute. The ones I've seen so far, but the earrings are very, very, very cute.
You have to eat them. If you're going to wear the earrings, eat them.
I don't think so. I don't think I have to.
Hey, I learned something about Scott. Scott, our news guy, his dad worked for Debbie Cakes and the Christmas cake people.
What?
Yeah, at the main headquarters.
Did
in
you get
Collegedale?
You got all the little Debbie cakes you wanted?
Collegedale, Tennessee. Well, I did get quite a few. And the funny thing, he retired there a few years ago and worked there for like 3+ decades or whatever. But I remember he said the first day he went, he worked in the chemistry lab and said he walked, and there was a punch bowl full of little Debbie cakes. And if you worked there, you could eat as many as you wanted.
No.
Every day.
Oh,
No.
my
Can you imagine
goodness.
that?
Man, I'd look like Santa.
Listen, I think you'd get sick of them.
He said he did. He said after about a week, you're like, but pretty nice.
Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
It's Rob and Liz in the morning, his radio.
It's time to get the turkeys. Thanksgiving timeline says between 2 and 4 weeks before Thanksgiving, we got to get ready. We are there. It is 3 weeks from Thursday when Thanksgiving is happening, so we're right
So
in.
you need the turkey now?
Says you got to go ahead and figure out, get your frozen turkey just to make sure you get one. We used to host about 30 some odd people for Thanksgiving. So it's harder to find those bigger turkeys. And it's also harder to find if you've got maybe 4 or 5 people coming over, a little tiny turkey.
Scott, do you and your wife get, he does our news, do you and your wife get turkeys that early?
Oh, boy. I'm going to get in trouble with my wife. I'm hoping others have the same household debate because it says here 4 to 5 days, right? That's when you're supposed to start thawing your turkey, your frozen turkey
Yes.
before Thanksgiving. And she always wants to wait until a couple of days before and then start thawing it out. And then we end up, we've done this before, we have these ice, big chunks of ice inside the carcass.
You mean on Thanksgiving Day,
Yes,
prepared
and
and served to the family?
No. When we're thawing it, and then we pull it out, and it looks fine, but then you start getting inside and pulling out, all the gizzards and stuff, and then we got ice, and then we have to do the sink thaw and all that mess. So I'm always saying we got to thaw it early.
Yes. But, I go through the same thing a little bit. Joey and I, my husband and I, don't kind of argue about it. It's all kind of me that figures it out.
She does it all.
But no, on the turkey. But I go, oh, okay, I'm going to start thawing it in plenty of time. And then I forget. And I'm like, wait a minute, I was supposed to start this yesterday.
What does Joey do?
Joey, he does the potatoes.
Really?
He does a lot. And I never know where to put the thermometer. Joey YouTubes it and he finds where to put the thermometer every year. I make him kind of be responsible.
So where you put it?
You put it, you can put it in the white meat or the dark meat.
Okay.
I prefer to put it in the dark meat. And so that's kind of up under a wing, but you got to find, as I'm showing you my wings.
She is. She's lifting up her armpit and saying, you put it right there,
Rob and Liz in the morning.
On his radio.
This cafe in Tucson is great on so many levels. One thing, they really want to make sure that people understand that there are those that are on a journey with mental illness in life. And one thing they do when you get your table number from this cafe is that there's a story of a famous person that travels with mental illness in their life.
Which, if you are struggling with that, and I feel like, most of us have walked that journey a little bit, then you can relate. And you also are being served by the waiters, the waitresses, the cooks, everybody that works there has been on a journey of their own. And so everyone feels super accepted. And it can even start dialogue, which is so good about knocking out the stigma of mental illness.
The biggest thing is you're not alone.
Right.
That is just so huge. That's the biggest message I see of this is that you're not alone and we're with you on this thing.
Right. And there's people that, it depends on who they are, what their issue that they're going through actually is, but it's helping them develop social skills, also getting employment, which sometimes if you're walking that journey can be a little more difficult.
Right.
Because unfortunately there's things, that may be showing up in your past that you've dealt with. But at this cafe, it's Cafe 54 in Tucson, they say, you know what? That's okay. It's okay, and we want you to work here, and we are going to invest in you and also start dialogue.
It just takes somebody believing in you.
That's all it takes.
And that's what they do.
Yeah.
So good on them.